What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. As you can see, my brother is not here with me today. He is a very busy guy, like I mentioned before. Today, I'm just going to jump into a dub that I took over the course of the last year. I was introduced to a company to invest in. Thanks to Amit, he's the one who really taught me a lot about how to analyze a company, how to break it down. Are they making money? How much, net margins, things like that, right? Really digging deep into the company. When I started investing into this company, it was very early in the stages of its growth. And because of that, it is a very high risk, but then again, it could be also high reward, right? And what that is a growth type of investment, right? So ultimately, what you're doing is you're betting on the company at such a young age for it to grow in valuation so that it grows the value of what share you buy it at. So what I'm going to do is I'll go ahead and just share my screen really quick. I took a screenshot of what exactly my position looks like. And give me one second. Bring that in here. There it is. So my position consisted of about 250 shares in total, right? And what I did is a little quick story on how I got introduced to Palantir's PLTR. So one day on Twitter, I was very curious on the company. What I did is I actually asked a community full of people who invest in Palantir at the very beginning. And I said, hey, like, pitch me this company. I'm interested in putting my hard-earned money into it. I wanted to learn how to, or what the company did to then potentially put my money into it. So that day, a lot of people commented on it, actually. I mean, it was like 30, 45 comments. And most of the people in there commented that Amit was one of the main guys who was analyzing the company at such a young age. And when I first got introduced to him, I went into his page and he has a YouTube, he has a Twitter, and if you guys follow me on Instagram, I posted a picture with him in the Miami meetup. My brother and I also spoke about that in I think 2 videos back. Um, but in his journey, Palantir is one of the main companies that he invested in such an early stage. And when I tuned into his page, he does like weekly, is like every Saturday, he does an episode where he discusses with other guys what the company does, and again, how much the numbers, how much they're making, how much their net margin in, profit, things like that. And I started to really like the company. It's an AI company, and I think it's a generational change type of company. Like what it does, and I won't really get too deep into it, but I really wanted to just show a big dub of mine, right? I did my due diligence. I researched, I watched his videos. It was every Saturday from like 12 to 10 to 12 a.m. So every Saturday night, I was just watching his videos. I was just really into the product, right? I was building conviction to then start to invest into what this company does, right? So just to break it down really quick, my total shares was roughly about 250. I'll get into why I brought it down to 100, but anyways, my average was $28. I think right now Palantir's sitting at like $150. So because of that, my total return currently is about 440% return on my money, right? So in this specific screenshot, the market value of Palantir shares that I own is about $15,000. And because I'm up $12,000, that means I invested $3,000 of my own money into the company. And the opportunity in the stock market is insane. This is a perfect example of that. I always preach that you want to make sure you at least have your 401ks, your Roth IRAs at full blast. And in those accounts, you want to make sure you're doing the S&P 500. You really don't want to mess in those accounts. Those are just really a set and forget, just buy whole for long term. However, because I've gained this type of skill to analyze companies, and I've had a couple mentors who kind of teach me how to do it. Palantir was one of those that I really needed. It's a little more of a challenging company to understand. Nonetheless, I went ahead and invested my hard-earned money, and that 2,000 or $3,000 turned into $15,000. And the opportunity in the stock market, like I mentioned, is insane, right? It's being able to buy into a company, right? Own a specific amount, a very small percentage of the company. But if the company grows, then your money grows, right? And what I did is over the course of a year, I bought and bought and bought and bought a little bit of this company. Um, some weeks it was $50, some months it was a total of $100. Like, so the whole purpose, I guess, of the long-term investing is buying over the long period of time, knowing what you're investing in, and then growing conviction and being confident in the stock that you're actually buying. In this situation, I am sharing this video with you guys. I'm sharing the screenshot because it's one of the biggest win. It is the biggest win that I have in the stock market as far as returns. And it is extremely rewarding, like I said, if you do the due diligence, you stick to it, you buy, you stay disciplined, stay for the long term, build the conviction in these companies. And there is a possibility out there where you can, of course, you're risking high, it's a high risk, high reward type scenario. But anyways, just wanted to share this with you guys. It was just a banger play. Again, I had 250 shares total. What I did is I removed some off the table. So total, this trade netted me like over $20,000, something like that. But because I was up 400 plus percent, it was silly not to remove money off the table, right? This investment was a little bit over a year. Not every stock you buy into is going to work this way. Palantir did IPO 5 years ago, so there was people who were down. This stock dropped to like $6. Right now, it's like at like $150. And one second, there it is. And pretty much, not every stock is going to be like that, right? Not every stock is going to be that easy to make that much money. And it takes time, right? I didn't do this in a week. I didn't do this in 2 weeks. It was a whole year of just sticking to it, just buying little by little. I didn't see the gains right away, but after a year, I mean, over a year is considered mid to long, heading towards long term. Anything in 6 months is short term, right? So, I stuck through it. I invested. There was days where that stock that the value of the stock went down, and I was down money, right? But when it's cheaper, you dollar cost average, you buy over the long period of time, and the results are in that screenshot that I shared. So anyways, big dub. Very grateful to admit he was really the guy who taught me and showed me the Palantir way. Every Saturday night, like I said, he would talk about the stock and just give me the confidence to put my money into it. And it worked out. It's amazing. You know, opportunity was there. I took it. And again, very grateful to Amit for the opportunity to just really teach the community what the company does. But anyways, stock market is an absolute amazing opportunity, right? There's money to be made. It's something that I've really appreciated over a long period of time. And I think the importance of all of that is like you make money and then you give back. You make money and then enjoy yourself, right? And that's what I did. Just got back from a trip actually from Washington, and part of the way that I funded that was through investments like this, right? It's putting your hard-earned money and then getting at least a little bit out of it to really enjoy, you know. So anyways, everyone have a great night.